Okay, so I just want to be very clear about something. The introduction to starting TP is nafshek shur b'nafshay at a very high level. People are so focused on it because, like, that's the chiddush. You know, that we have to accept them and supply them and build our connection. But then I find that a lot of people are building the connection and they have it. And it's blood, sweat, and tears to get there. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 years. But now you have a great connection with this suffering soul. What are you doing about it? So imagine that you go to train for Hatzalah, you go through 2 years, you're an EMT, but you don't use your skill to do mouth to mouth. It's useless. So what actually heals these kids? So of course, what we have here going on is right away, almost every family, I think every family, we're very good at the sur meirah. We're not calling shomer menatzala, and we're not criticizing, and we're not yelling, and we have calm and peace at home. Wonderful. Really, I think through and through, it's unbelievable. And you know, dayenu, that's wonderful. To not have to have this crying and the screaming and all of the craziness that happens in so many families, and to just have calm and have a dysfunctional person living in your house. Okay, dayenu. That's the sur meirah part. Most people are good at it, some people not so good, but pretty much we're, as a team, as a group of hundreds of families, you guys get it. The next part is the asay tov, building the NKN, building the relationship, giving the gifts. Some of you are amazing at it, and it doesn't have to cost money. It's about focusing on the right thing at the right time. Sometimes the gift that does the most damage to destroy the wall between you. Sometimes that gift could be $1. $1.50 was the cheapest bomb we ever had. Effective bomb. And some people are totally confused. What's a bomb? How does it work? I gave him chocolate milk. I bought him clothing. It's not regular supplying and regular support of every parent to a child. It's not a bomb. It's something to destroy the wall between you and to prove that I accept you and I love you on a deep, 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 deep level. So now, after you do that, and you feel like my relationship with this kid, I asked most of you when you called me, what's your relationship connection to your kid? And most of you said under 10 when you came here. Some of you were in the minuses, right? But it was usually very, very, very low. And now, Baruch Hashem, you're going up 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So now what? And that's really what people don't have. They think that, no, that's TP. Give the kids whatever they want, whatever they need, make them comfortable, they're living at home. I've done my part, now I can move on to the next part of my life. That's just the introduction to TP. What happened was, everything that we're doing is things that I learned from working with kids by accident. Home Sweet Home was an accident, it was a dumb idea. I opened a home, moved in a bunch of very difficult street kids. No, I never thought it would work. Nobody ever thought it would work. Really, nobody believed, literally, nobody believed in me. Everywhere I went to speak to people, they laughed at me. Like, you were never a mentor. You're not a therapist. You never met a kid off the door. Like, you're opening a home, they're going to move in, they're going to quit all their Narishkeiten, and they're going to become frum and ehrlich and healthy. Well, we weren't thinking about frum, but normal. What are you talking about? And they had a point, except I got lucky, and for some reason it worked over and over and over and over again. I have so much nachas from these kids today. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And even though they were coming in to manipulate me, we manipulated them. Because I wanted them to be meitav from us. I wanted them to take from us. So I didn't care that when they took from me, that they thought that they're manipulating me. It's medicine. If your kid says, I'll take chemotherapy if you pay me $100. You pay him $100 because you want him to have the chemo. You want him to have the medicine. The connection is the medicine. So the more connected you are, even though sometimes it feels like they're manipulating you, but if you get the medicine in, which we've seen so many times, and then they become healthier, they'll stop wanting to manipulate you, and they'll start appreciating you, and they'll become healthier, and then all the good things happen. So what was the secret of Home Sweet Home? So you can't copy it because it was a whole program, and it wasn't all the kids. I took the kids when they were ready. You have to deal with kids that are not ready. You're the parents. It's more complicated. But at the end of the day, once we had the opportunity to help the kid, what was it? What was it? So the therapy world is looking at us and saying, how did you get them off drugs and healthy without, and functioning without medication and therapy. How did it happen? Over and over and over again. And the frum world, the Kirov world, is saying, how did you get almost all of them to be frum? And none of them are anti. Even the few that are not frum are not anti. They're not in other organizations that are anti-Yiddishkeit. They're not haters. They want to be frum. They wish they could be frum. They do the best they can. There were only a few of them that didn't make it. And interestingly, I think all of them came from families that didn't really exist. So when we finished the program, there was nobody to go home to. But all the ones that had families, so they were all, I mean, they're frum. They're frum. Frum means you're alive, means that you're clean, you're functioning, and you're able to come back. It's very hard to get back in the system. You have to climb up that mountain yourself. Once you go from Chil Shabbos, once you're at Chil Shabbos, how hard is it to keep Shabbos? It's very hard. So they have to have emotional strength, which shows the health. It shows the health of these kids. So what was it? If I had to look back, what was it? And the answer is fun. Fun. I always say, you know, they're going to supply the FU. You just got to bring the N. Fun. When you have fun with people, and the chemicals in the brain are happy, and you're running, and you're going to great adventure, and you're going on trips, and you're spoiling them with fun, with you, with Tati and Mommy, then it creates a hashpa, an unbelievable influence. Fun. And the greatest successes that we've had here are people that use their relationship and connection to be the ones to give their kids fun when the kids accepted it. Now, every parent in the beginning says, my kid does not want to have fun with me. Every parent says that, I asked my kid, and they said, no, I'll go with friends. Oh, it's dumb. Ma, nobody goes to the whatever with their mom, right? That's in the beginning, because that's true. But we can overcome that using our skills. If you're offering bowling, that's not the way you start. You start with Cancun. You look online, we have so many times that we pass around stuff where sometimes it's mamish cheap. You got to wait. You got to do Groupon. We're on a budget. Fine. But think about the value of getting your kid back. Some of our greatest successes came from parents. They didn't have a lot of money. Spend the money that you would spend if they were in a yeshiva, if they were in seminary. It's a good budget. There's plenty of room in that. And take them out to places that they can't say no to, and be there with them, having fun with them. You start off with the place that they cannot say no to. And then afterwards, when you come back the next week, you can do the cigar place, and you could do the hookah lounge, and then you could do bowling, and you could do anything. Because you break down that wall with that, and then you surprise them. Another one I don't want to say how many times, because you'll get scared. But I mamish see the healing of these kids when they're going and they're having fun. You saw it when you took your son to Africa, right? To a safari. Crazy thing to do. Look at him. I'm sorry I'm embarrassing you. He doesn't usually go to safaris. He went out of his comfort zone, right? But we saw healing. You got to come up with something that they're not going to say no to. Now, if you don't have a budget to do a $10,000 trip, we had look for deals. We had a mom that took her son to Puerto Rico. At that time, it was 3 days and 2 nights. It was a deal, Hako Bako, 4-star hotel, which was beautiful, and flights. The whole thing together for both of them was under $1,000. I think it was like $800. Cheap. Cheap. We have a KIP fund. If you need help financially, we'll help you out. Go. Somebody went ahead and took his kid surprised. The surprise has to be big enough that they're going to be so wrapped, so incredibly excited about it, they'll go with you. Somebody took his daughter on a cruise. Not the Jewish cruise. The Jewish cruise is $15,000 or something. The Guy cruise is like $40. You know, like what do they have? All you can eat buffet. He took his son and he brought along his airline food, but his daughter ate whatever she would eat, and he went mamish on a cruise. The cruises, well, not for the kosher, a packaged airline food. Right, he didn't bring it, they gave it. And his daughter, whatever. And it's like you're in a whole community. You're on how many flights of fun. It was a bonding experience. And it happens to be, I ordered for him, for those that were here, it was $15, $20. A Swarovski beautiful heart, and this Swarovski stuff is so cheap. And he gave it to her with a beautiful letter. Bonding, fun, exotic, crazy stuff. It's mamish the best money you'll ever borrow. The best money you'll ever borrow. It's mamish like that because it heals them. You'll see, you're closer. The whole atmosphere of the home. gets calmer, everybody's happier. If we get this KIP in place, everybody's happier. Of course, we have so many other speeches you have to listen to about the other kids and what you have to do for them and all of that, but I'm just focusing on this thing. Most people are so wrapped up, and I speak to them like, what have you done lately for your kid to heal them? What do you mean? We have a great relationship. Right, so you have access to him. Home Sweet Home worked. I didn't realize this, but the reason it worked is because we were there with, most of their time, we were there with them. They had to go out. What was the program? Every night between 8 or 8:30 until 11, 11:30, they had to go out with a bunch of guys. I had a Sunday night group and a Monday night group and a Tuesday night group and a Wednesday. There was a program, and you had to go out. And these guys, you know, tough rebels who are on the street, and they would call me up. I don't want to go bowling. I'm like, you're a tough rebel. I don't want to go bowling, please. Can I stay home? And I was the authority. I would make deals with them. You know, bottom line is, every night, almost every night, we were there with them having fun. So after all of that, we were mashpia on them by accident. By accident. Shabbos, they were by me, by my friends. They were Machal Shabbos. They went out for their cigarettes. But just putting them, soaking them in normal people, after a short time, I had some of these kids that I documented. There was a kid who came in January. By March, he gave up. At that time, was a BlackBerry. Nobody gave up a BlackBerry. By April, he shut off his Facebook account. He shut down. By Pesach, he was at my Seder. He was already yarmulke. I mean, by the end of the year, he's now married, he's frum, with a baby. It's just beautiful, beautiful. Sometimes it happens so fast. Now, you're not going to have that success, that speed, because I took them when they were ready. Most of the kids didn't want to come to me. They had to be ready for it. You're stuck with wherever you're up to. So you can't afford to wait for that. But still, the medicine at the end of the day that works is fun. So I want to encourage you and beg you, please, so many people that could, I'm not talking about the ones who can't, speak to me after class, and we'll figure out a way for you to be able to do it. But so many of you that could do it are not doing it. There are people who do have resources, they do have money, and they are able to take off from group. What have you done in the last year? Nothing. So why would you heal your kid in a slow, it's true, they'll get healthy, slow and steady, when you can go on a fast track, when you can mamish make their brain healthier. See, part of the problem that we have here, Rabbi Yisai, is that their sickness doesn't show up on an X-ray. It actually does show up on an fMRI, but most of us don't have that yet. But the point is, there's no fever, there's no thermometer. So you figure, like, what am I doing? I have to do it. You want them at the Chuppah Mitzvah Hashem? We can get there, Be'ezus Hashem. I believe, an imam and Be'emunah Shalema, every kid is going to be at that Chuppah Be'ezus Hashem, where you're walking them down to a From Chuppah Kedas Moshe V'Yisrael. That's our goal. But you have to do your share and say, okay, it's up to us. Because Rabbi said there's no cavalry. There's no help. There's no help. Where's, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's other people are being helped, but you guys weren't helped by anybody. It's just you. Just you, and getting your kid back. And you have one weapon, and it's love. But it's the strongest weapon. Right? Let's remember that Shlomo HaMelech, smartest man in the world, said, smartest man ever, said, Ki aza kama v'sahava, that love is as strong as death. And the Stipler asked, what does it mean love is as strong as death? Says the Stipler, just like nothing could stop death. When it's time, person's time is up, then it's over. Nothing could stop death, says the Stipler, nothing could stop love. Stipler, nothing could stop love. So that's our weapon, but you have to use it. You have to use it. In order for us to be matzliach, you need to go to sleep at night and say, I'm doing every part of this program, every single part of this program that exists, and I'm not schluffing, because there's nobody else to heal your kid. Physically, taking them out of danger, emotionally and spiritually. It's all the same derech. It's all the same derech. It's a derech of bonding and having fun together in a way that you can provide fun that none of their friends can. You have more ability to provide them with real fun more than any of their friends. I always say that healthy kids would rather spend time with their friends than their parents. KiPs would rather spend time with their parents than their friends once you're in that wall. Once you accept them and they feel really accepted. Why? Because when they come back from their friends, they feel yucky. It's a big, giant waste of time and a bunch of letdowns, and they don't really have fun. I always won my arguments with the Home Sweet Home guys when I wanted them to come in, and they said, no, I can't come here. It's jail. I can't go out. I didn't let them meet their friends. It was like a jail. No friends. We are going to provide you with all your fun. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. I said, listen, dude, you know you're not having fun. What are you really going to be missing? You're going to see a picture at the beach and all of that, but you knew it took 6 weeks until it happened. And you knew that it was a big letdown, and it was only one picture. And we're going to give you fun every night. And when they went ahead and had real fun, good, clean, kosher fun, they felt good about themselves. The fun that they're having outside, between me and you, it's not fun. They know it. It's not real fun. It's a lot of disappointment, a lot of negativity. How many of our kids stopped relationships with bad friends because they said, I can't take the negativity. I don't feel comfortable with that. You zoom in there. And when they come back, and again, once you have the NKN level, the nafshik shur benafshe level that's necessary, and they want to spend, they would be okay to spend time with you, and then you take them to real fun. Real fun. We can take them to mamish real fun. We had families, the most Erlich families, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, all these places, exotic places. We find them on sale. We go there, and they have real fun. Parachuting, parasailing, good, clean, kosher fun. Right? Then they come back and they have pictures and they have memories, and you make that beautiful memory bomb of those albums that mamish last forever. You get that money shot from the helicopter ride or whatever it is. You put it up on you make 2 of them, one for their room, one for your room. Poster board, $10, $15. We love you ton. Great memories. You get the pillowcases, the Groupons on pillowcases, $5, $4.99. Pillowcases, and you get 10 of them, different ones every week. Is change it with a picture, with a saying, we love you, have a great night, have a great sleep. The blankets, they're $35. There's so much you can do with love. Ki aza kamaves ahava. It's you against death. And this is our weapon against overdoses, Rahman al-Itzlan, suicides, Rahman al-Itzlan. It's our only weapon. It's our only weapon, but it's all we need, Be'ezus Hashem, of course. We need Hashem's help, the Torah, the Tefillah, the Tzedakah that everyone's giving. All the T's, Torah, Tefillah, Tzedakah, and TP. Ma'avir Nisrei Agzera. But you got to do it. You know, imagine that you're in a hospital and the nurses are doing 50%. You would say that's ridiculous. This is your hospital. This is your mahalach. Make sure you're doing it well. How do you know what you need to improve on? That's why Hashem gave you a spouse. Your spouse is ready for you to ask, he or she, they've been waiting for 30, 40 years for you to ask the question, what am I doing wrong? Right? You could send a text, you could say, and normally you don't want to do it, but to save your children, you're willing to even do that. Your spouse knows exactly what you're doing wrong, what you're not doing good enough, the area that you're missing, and you got to do it. That's why Hashem gave you a spouse. You go ahead, you text, and what's amazing is you'll be so surprised how, like you go, okay, what do I need to improve on? Boop! It's there. It's like 6 pages. Like, how did you respond so quickly? They've been waiting to hit send for so long. And then you're going to be like, no, 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 not about that topic. No, not about that topic. Only about the KIP. And you're going to funnel through all the pages. And you'll say, wow, look, and you're going to get a response back right away. Bing! Do you want this in alphabetical order or in order of importance or by... It's amazing. They're waiting to tell you. They're waiting to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong and what you need to improve on. But normally we don't want to hear it. Here we got to hear it. Why? Because it's about saving your kid. I had 2 phone calls today that I was really depressed. 2 phone calls of kids that the parents are doing officially. You asked them, what are you doing? TP. They're following everything in TP. But I asked each of them because they were kvetching. We don't feel the kids are, there's a little, they're falling back. They're not so, we don't know. And I'm like, what are you not doing? Well, we do everything besides the bombs. Come on, that's the medicine. That's what shocks their brains. The gift bombs that makes them eventually be excited when they take it, excited, and there's something about ripping open wrapping paper, right? There's something about it. That's, we do everything. So basically, you're just nice. You're treating your kid who's dying like you would treat someone in shul. You're not doing any medicating. There's no treatment method. Use your nice relationship to do stuff to shock their brains. We know that these kids are suffering from pain. What's the opposite of pain? Pleasure. Flood their brains with pleasure. That's your job. smiles, it's compliments, it's shawarma, it's picking up stuff, it's clothing, but then it's the bombs, it's the gifts that, wow, I can't believe I got this. And there are people that mamish do it amazingly well. I get videos and pictures every week. It's unbelievable. Other people mishluft. No, he doesn't want, nah. The excuses are fine, but it's not going to help your kid. You got to really be looking, mamish, that's your job. At night you go to sleep, you say, Hashem, please help me be chayin and das, that I should be able to figure out what's that thing. Every kid needs stuff. Even Donald Trump needs something. And his birthday, he's going to get gifts. He's going to, maybe sharper image. But there's stuff that they need. And you post it on the group, you ask on the group, people come up with great stuff. It's so important. And then the time bombs. Both of these families did no time bombs in a year. To me, if this is your only medicine and you're not giving it, what kind of atzlacha could you possibly have? What kind of atzlacha? So you have to make sure you're not dragging your feet. And now listen, it's draining. It costs a lot of money. A lot of people don't like to travel. A lot of people don't feel comfortable. It's like, hey, maybe 30 years ago it would have been fun. But now it's not, and we have other things going on. All the excuses are perfectly acceptable to me, but the patient is just not going to get better. So think about how you can use your relationship to get into the kishkas of this kid and give them F-U-N. So many of you are in the place where you can do it, and you cannot overdose. This is one prescription. This is a drug. You cannot overdose. Don't worry about them getting spoiled. Different speech. They're not going to get spoiled. You're going to move their mindset from negative to positive. Instead of saying, oh, this world stinks, everything's horrible, I have no luck. It's going to be on a beach, in a spa, in Cancun. Oh, my life's not that bad. It kills depression. We're knocking out. Think about what we're doing. Why do we do this? We have so many hundreds of kids that had all kinds of diagnoses. 2-3 years later, after doing this, they're not on medication. You're saving your kid from needing pills in their brain by doing fun. How many kids mamish saved in so many different ways? And those who have real severe stuff, at least you cleared away all the fake stuff. I always say, a couple years later, 2-3 years after TP, let's see what's left. Right? There's a family that called me this week. They said, we want to take her to a psychiatrist. I said, not yet. Because I told the parent, I said, you know that 3 months ago, the psychiatrist would have given much higher dose of medication than today, right? Because she's much calmer and doesn't look like so swing of emotions. Today you don't think it would be bipolar. So you don't want her to be on the medication from 3 months ago. Give it another 3 months, another 6 months. As long as it's working, we're seeing changes, calm in the brain. Okay, 2-3 years goes by. Let's see what's left. There'll be a little something. Okay, we'll tweak it. The medication is there for that. But when they're in trauma and they're not sleeping, and they're on drugs, and they feel they're homeless, and everybody hates me, and life stinks, you're never going to get the real diagnosis. So you don't even give the psychiatrist a chance to really help them. How many of our kids, how many were misdiagnosed? Like 100% of TP kids by the time you come here. I'm sure there's, by the way, millions of kids that got properly diagnosed, and they never came here, and that's wonderful. But from our group, if the diagnosis would have worked and the medication would have worked, you wouldn't be here with kids who are so sick. So we have to heal them with fun. We have to heal them with love. It sounds so stupid and so new agey and old agey. I don't know what it sounds like. It sounds like, and a lot of parents would rather write a check and stick some pills in him, and I don't want to have to do this. It's not my nature, but Hashem put you in this situation to save your kid with the tools that we have that are proven to work. Right? This is all Davish to helfen, that we should take it as serious as you want me to take it. Because I have parents who I think I'm much more taking serious their kids' health than the parents. It's like sometimes I feel like I told a parent on the phone, your husband, I said, I'm in, right? I am in, right? I told him, I am fully in, right? Okay, are you? I'm fully in. I'm invested. I will invest in your kid. I'll be here for you, Be'ezus Hashem. But I feel like sometimes parents are just unable to. And a lot of times there's good reason. I'm not judging. But I'm here to tell you, you got to get out of your meitzarim, out of your boundaries, and you got to make it happen because nobody else is coming to help your kid. That's the sad part. I wish there was. I wish people call me up and say, oh, call this guy and call that guy. We use a lot of other people. There's good mentors. There's good people. But you're the basis of getting them healthy so that way they can bond with a mentor. and they can find the right therapist, and they can go. I recommend therapy more than anybody when they're ready to get real therapy and work on themselves 100%. But you have to carry the patient through the dark years of pain, the Verlorenkeit, the Zerbrochenkeit, because if I know my parents believe in me and like me, ultimately, that stops them from many, many, many tsaros, rois, virabais, which we don't even want to talk about. And on the flip side, the kids who feel my parents don't like me, like a kid told me, he said, Mamish, just a few months ago, he told me, my parents don't like me. If my parents don't like me, I'm not likable. If I'm not a likable human being, I have no reason to live. And then he went and he tried to kill himself. Mamish like that. And you're telling your kids, I like you, I love you, I see good. And that's taking that depth, that broken self-esteem, and rebuilding it with every compliment, with every text message, with every hug. But it's the boom, the bombs, the fun, the crazy stuff that really gives you the highest chance of healing for your kid.